Hey guys, so now I want to take a look at Cosmos, and the ticker for this one is Atom. This is actually one of my favorite coins. They have a lot of really cool applications on it, and particularly they have one. It's called Osmosis. It's for DeFi. Pleasure to use. It's the best decentralized exchange I think I've ever used. You should, if you want to trade these tokens that are on in this Cosmos ecosystem, I recommend that you give it a try. Another thing I like about this particular project is they have really good staking rewards. It's easy to stake and you get about 20% return on it. And another thing I really like about Cosmos is when you stake the Atom token, you get all sorts of airdrops. Maybe in the low season, sorry, not low season, but in the bear market. So I live in Thailand, so they go high season or low season for tourism. But in the bear market, I was getting maybe like one airdrop a month, but when it's um when it's a bull market, you'll get like multiple airdrops in a month. Like probably I remember I was getting like towards the end of the last bull market, I was getting maybe two airdrops every week. And some of them are like $800, $1,000. It's amazing. So highly underrated project. I think this one's awesome. And I also like the founder of it, Jake Wan. I follow him on Twitter, and I'll just say we think alike on a lot of things. So Jake Wan, if you're watching this, respect you, bro. All right. So I'm going to start by looking on the longer term time frame here. And we'll start with the weekly chart. And as you can see, there's just a few very significant regions here. So number one, I try to find like this like kind of midpoint region where the price is responding to the most, and I mark that off. So as you can see, this center line, it was a resistance here. As we came up, it was a resistance for 2, 3 weeks straight right here. So we came up with a wick, got rejected, and the bodies were closing below this line. Even though we wicked up during the week, but as the close came, the bodies got rejected down here. So 3 weeks, this held as a resistance. When we finally shot up, eventually we came back down and we retested it 3 times for support. So this is a very significant level. And you see here on this stump, we came down and it almost held for a month. The price was respecting this level as a support. The price is around $8.73. Eventually we broke down and we faced resistance from it coming up. And again, support here. And then we recently broke down and now we're just above it right now. Okay, the two other lines I've drawn, it's basically like this triangle formation, and the lines have intersected, and we're coming to the apex of this point. So the lines will connect. Let's see what we got in October. So the price can be pretty boring in the meantime, ranging from the current price around 932, but up here it can go to around 1016 or so, and all the way back down to 750-ish, and it can bounce around here. Well, we could break out at any time, but just based on this, the apex, the breakout point is going to be in October, the early October, and then it's going to pick the direction. I hope it goes up. I think it's going to go up. But anyway, so yeah, so I mean, basically not much action here. You can map these on your chart, just draw these trend lines, and then when you see the price come up, you can look for a short, put a stop just above it, or if you see it come down, maybe enter a long, put your stop just below. So let's look on the daily here. Okay, so this looks almost like a bear flag here. And I just draw these out because it'll give you a tighter range to trade within if you want to take shorter term time frame trades. So let's see here. If see we work do the bodies here. Actually, I'm gonna connect the wicks because if you're gonna trade this, you don't want to get stopped out. So that to me looks like it's a bear flag, right? So more often than not, this will tend to break down. Again, hopefully not, but yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. If it comes down to this level, I mean, you have a long opportunity with a quick invalidation point. You can put a stop loss just below. Let's see what we got. I haven't looked at this chart in a while, so I'm just trying to update myself with what's going on. Let me flip it over to the other chart I have here. Now, I drew this lower trend line in a different region because this was serving as a support for quite a while. And the difference between this one and this other one, or is it? Okay, let's go out to the weekly again. Sorry, guys. See, this one I plotted the lower trend line here from the wicks, and I drew it from this part here. So essentially what happened is I was following this line drawn from the bodies from this low point, and that worked for a long time. You see, we respected it here, we respected it here, and then eventually we fought hard with it right here, and then we broke down. So okay, it broke down, so I got to see, is there any other significant lines that need to be drawn? And that's why I ended up drawing this. I say, okay, this one's done. So now this is the line that's holding us, right? This lower line. But now, since this other one broke down, we have this to deal with as a resistance. So if we come back up to this lower line, I anticipate that this will serve as a resistance level. Now it's around, I mean, it depends when we come back up, but say we came back up at the end of July, that level would be around $12. So if we get to this point, then expect a fight right here, and you maybe look to a short or something like that, a short opportunity. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna put. I have a unique set of indicators. Actually, you know what I want to check? Actually, just looking at this. So see this wick right here on the weekly. We bounced off this lower trend line, but I want to see if actually I suspect. Oh no, that's not the one here. Sorry guys, not trend based. I want the fib retracement. If I draw from the low to the top up here, the swing low to swing high. Okay, so guys, Fibonacci retracement levels are scary accurate a lot of the time. Actually, let's go here. So when we dumped down, look where we found support. It kind of like lined up. We had this lower trend line, and then we had this 78.6 retracement level. So in case you're not sure how to use this, basically, if the price pumps and you want to look for potential areas of support on the retrace, then what you do, you take your Fibonacci retracement tool, start at the bottom, bring it up to the top, and that will give you these lines. So most commonly you have the 382, the 50%. Where I've marked out these two yellow lines, this is called the golden pocket, the 618 and the 65. Most people only draw the 618, and then below that you have the 786. So between the 382 and the 786, this is where the price will usually turn around. If the price action is very bullish, a lot of the time it'll bounce off the 382. But if not, then yeah, you can get a deep retracement to the 786. And I mean, way down would be the 88, the 88.3, but doesn't come there as often. Count on, if you break this golden ratio, then I would say maybe look to enter on to the 786 and then put a stop loss just below. But this time you had confluence. You had this upward sloping support line and the 786. So people placed major buy orders right here, and that's why we have this strong price action moving up with the long wick. Okay, moving back to the other chart. So on these indicators, they're part of an indicator bundle. They're paid, but I highly recommend it if you want just more insight into the market. I'll put a link to it in the description. So the first one I'm going to do, it marks out these order blocks. Okay, and this just shows regions on the chart that had a lot of activity, a lot of transactions occurred at these regions. So when the price comes back up to it or back down to it, it's likely that you're going to have a bounce in either of these regions. So I like this price action concepts indicator because one thing it does is it shows me the previous day high and the previous day low. And I mention this in pretty much all my videos that I always like to look at this because oftentimes the price will respond to these levels. So if we come down, a lot of the time it'll be support. If we come up, a lot of the time it'll be resistance. So if I dial this down to, say, the 4 hour, and let's see how the price is. Okay, well, that just shows my point right now. See, the price came down here, and look where we found support, guys. The previous day low. It's holding this previous day low level. And So actually, this is probably a decent. It would have been a decent trade entry if we saw this sooner. So let's see if we were to enter here, all we would do is say we enter here and we move our stop loss below this previous day low and we target the high. What kind of risk reward would that give us? 1 to 1.7. It's not that great. It's we would risk 2.84% to potentially gain 3.33%. Not ideal. What you would want is to get in if the price is around here. So this candle down here, this would have been the play. You could have entered when this candle closed right here, and this way, yeah, this would have been a beautiful setup. So you could risk about 1% to gain 5%. So almost a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio. So that's the great thing about these indicators, guys. They show you, like I said, information that most people do not see on the chart, because it's not like most people even know about the significance of this, and they're not like marking it manually on the chart. And you get it with this indicator set. Highly recommended if you want to see this kind of stuff. So yeah, so as a trade opportunity, I'm not too crazy about it. If the price comes back down, maybe you can look for that entry with a tight stop and target the top of here. If it breaks here, then yeah, look to this region here, this order block level at. I would target the peak of here at the start of this order block, so around $10.08 or so. And if the price came up here and you wanted to look for a short, I would wait for it to come to the very top of it and then maybe enter with a quick invalidation point above it. And the price on that is $10.28. Okay, so another thing I want to look at is this this dynamic support and resistance level. Okay, so if you've watched a few of my videos, you know I've mentioned this several times, but if you're new here, this is a new channel, so most of the viewers are just discovering this channel for the first time. So I'll explain it again. This, you see the blue here and then the red. Basically, this just shows me the direction of the trend, and these also act as a dynamic level of support and resistance. So when the price approaches the red level from below, for example, several examples here. So right here, you see the price came up, came to the red region, and then it acted as a resistance. And we're seeing it here again. So the price came up, and then we're getting a little bit of a resistance here. The line part here is going to be more significant than just this red region. So if we come up, then oftentimes what I would do is I would look for a short entry, and I would put like a stop loss just above. But there are other criteria that have to be met for me to do that. Okay, so moving back to the other chart, and just to give you a summary here, it's just a tight range, guys. It's actually at this current moment, I think it's kind of risky to enter trades because the whole market kind of moves with Bitcoin for the most part. And if I take a quick look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is I don't know, actually it's holding. It's holding. So this previous resistance level, these two peaks here, as you see, the price has broke it, and then we tested it here, got a big wick, and then we came down again. As long as it holds, Bitcoin's looking okay. If we break this level on Bitcoin, and I'll tell you it's around 29,576. If we close a daily candle below this, expect a big drop, guys, down to low 28. But so far we're holding, nothing necessarily to worry about there. So, I mean, as long as Bitcoin's stable, you can look for trades. So it's up to you. We just had a big dump today, but actually I do think it's probably going to hold. Let's go back to Cosmos. So yeah, so the trade to recap would be trade within the previous day low and previous day high. And if you don't have that indicator, then maybe you can just play some trades off this bear flag, right? So it's a tight region of price action. So since we're on the let's move it here. So if you see the price come down and touch this line, maybe you can look for a long, and if it comes up, then you can maybe look for a short. I mean, I would say definitely if it comes up to this this top range here where it interconnects with this downsloping resistance, like around here. If the price came around here, around 1032, then I would probably, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I would enter a short right there and place my stop just above and then target the lower region, right? So that would be let's just see what kind of, see if I entered here. And by the way, when you have TradingView, guys, you can set alerts at all these levels. So you don't have to stare and just wait for it, right? That would be, yeah, see, that would be a good setup right there. That'd be about a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio, or 1-to-3 risk reward ratio. I would risk just under 3% and get 9% on it. So actually, I'm going to mark this and I'm going to wait for that trade to set up. Anyway, guys, that about wraps it up for Cosmos. Take care. Have a good day. Bye. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because this is a new channel and I don't know how you found this video, but after this, if you like the content, then I don't know, you might not be able to find this channel again if you don't subscribe. So I do about 2 to 3 updates on these coins every day, or that's what I'm going to try to do anyway. So if you want more content, then subscribe so it'll be on your homepage. All right, take care. Bye.